Dear Johnny, where do we stand
What's
on
going
things
on? Yeah.
with your Maple Leafs? You're an alumni. You see the way they played last night.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the coach? Is it the players? Management? Like, what sticks out to you first and foremost?
I'm not gonna lie to you, boys. Like, I know I'm coming on at 5. I tuned in at 4. I wanted to hear it. Wanted to hear what you guys were gonna say. So I listened to the first half hour, and I think it's a bit of everything. You guys covered a lot there, and you were largely right. It is the GM for roster construction. It is the coach for, I think, game plan, like the ideas he has of a game plan, as well as sort of getting the guys to execute the game plan. And then, of course, it's the players for, like, you can ask them to play the worst system of all time relative to their talents. You still got to play it hard. And as Noodle said, like, yes, there are, pretty significant differences in how you can play, but you can be out of system, let's call it, if you're not playing a system that's ideally suited for you, and still be competitive. And I think that's where the players have to bear some responsibility, because I believe, I might be with Jonas on this one, they're playing out a system. Like, I don't think what they're trying to do is ideally suited for this group. Now, they did have great success with it last year, largely based on their goaltending and their power play and winning a mash full of 1-goal games. But they had great success with it. But I don't know if they're the way they're playing is ideally suited to these guys. But no matter what, they can play better than they played the last little while. And you guys can feel it. You guys are very in tune with the market. I'm down there at the games. I'm between the benches. Like, I don't want to do vibe checks because that's not sort of how but like, the vibe check on this team is different and changing rapidly, almost than anything we've seen in several years. Several years where, the tension and sort of the scrutiny and the criticism, and Craig Berube no longer saying, sort of towing the company line and being positive and like, we got to work some things out, but I liked it. He's like, no, I'm not doing any of that anymore. He's calling guys out sort of directly, the leadership group. The ask them quote, you guys played it earlier. I mean, that's a guy saying, I'm not protecting them anymore. I'm not taking the bullets. I'm not going to go to the spin job. I'm putting it right on him, because it's not that he doesn't care, but I think he's probably exhausted all the other options. I've tried to be the good guy. I've tried to be soft. I've tried to be hard behind closed doors, and now it's not working. So what do I got to do? Maybe I got to turn the heat up publicly, because that's what's happening right now. And I think for the first time in a decade, for so many of these best players, for Nylander, for Matthews, Morgan Rielly has largely skated, without too much criticism in his game. Tavares has been celebrated, understandably so. They're getting, like, the idea that they're getting that Toronto heat, which, Toronto could be guilty of, I suppose, or suggest that it might be that way. It's happening now, and it feels really different. So I don't know what happens in Nashville. They better win tomorrow, because Dallas on Sunday is going to be tough. But I do think the questions that have to be asked are, so you could ask, do we have the right roster? But I think that sort of comes almost third. The question is, do we have the right system being implemented by the right coach? And that's number one. Because if it's not the right system, then I think Craig Berube is smart enough. He probably, even if he doesn't want to, could figure out other ways for them to play. Like, it's not like it's that confusing. So that's question one. Is it the right system with the right coach putting it in? And then the second question is, are the players willing to embrace trying to do that system as best they can? And I want to believe the players want to do well. They don't want to pout and throw in the towel and be disinterested. Some of the stuff they get criticized of, with good reason at times. But I just wonder, is that conversation happening? Is Trey Living asking Berube, or is Berube asking the other coaches, okay, are we giving this team the best chance to be successful? Because I think what we've seen so far, and we're 35 games in this season, 33, whatever it is, that them being asked to play the way they're being asked to play, they can be competitive. They can win games. They might make the playoffs. They're not a good team. They're not an upper echelon team playing this system with these players. I don't care. Like, they can play harder. They can be grittier. Like, I don't want to hear any of that. I just don't think this system, these players, as it is right now, they're an upper echelon team. They're not a Stanley Cup contending team like this. They just aren't. Whether they have injuries or not. And I think that's where they got to go and try to start through some of that sort of wreckage in the fallout.
So just to pile on that or jump on that, Johnny, quickly. If they decided, and Chief's a smart guy, if they decided to play a different system, does that take the team, were you saying, to another level, or it just at least gives them a different look? Like, that's what I mean is this team much better playing a different system, playing the Sheldon Keefe system? Like, you can ask
I think the best players,
Joshua, and okay, so yeah, that's fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the best players could be way better in a different system. Yes, I do. Now, do I think Dakota Joshua, not to pick on, he's playing well, so he's a good guy to pick right now.
Right.
But is Dakota Joshua or Nick Waugh going to thrive in a different kind of system, up tempo, puck possession, rush based system? Maybe not. But you're not gonna win or lose, sink or swim with Joshua and Waugh. You're gonna sink or swim with Matthews and Nylander, and Nyes and Tavares, I suppose, up front. And I think what they're trying to do, what they're doing, is not maximizing those guys specifically.
One quick thing on top of that. You also need to get the puck to do that, correct? And I don't think they're
been a problem for 2 years.
Well enough. They don't move the puck well enough. They're D.
But make no mistake, Noodles.
Right.
This is not a 25, 26 problem. Like, look at the numbers from last year. Their possession numbers, they were like near bottom of the league. Like, as you went along, so possession numbers near bottom of the league, expected goal numbers were like 24, high danger chances were like 16. So they got better sort of incrementally as they got closer to their net, but they were not. And this is the difference. And this is sort of the whole thing with this team and how they're like, they've not been good under Craig Berube in these sort of underlying numbers that offer sustainable success. They had the second best save percentage last year. Yeah. Right? Everyone who's got the second best save percentage has a good team, whether they're playing well or not. Right? And they had one, Jonas, what were they in the power play last year? 5th, 7th? Whatever they were in the power play. Yeah, really right pretty good,
5.
right? So, that's how you win close games. And I think what's happened is the power play's fallen off and the goaltending hasn't been as great. It's been fine, but not as great. And they lose close games.
Yeah.
But largely playing the same way. And yes, Mitch Marner off the roster is part of that equation. But it's it's not like they were some juggernaut last year. This is not revisionist history. I had this conversation previously and people like, well, who cares? They're winning. I'm like, I get it.
Right.
But so many things are falling their way that is allowing them to win last year. It's not falling their way this year. And I think that's where the system stuff needs to be explored.
It's fair. It's just I have a tough time Philip Meyer living in that system.
But he played on the team last year.
Listen, that defensive core, who's the best puck mover back there?
Riley or Ekman Larson?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although, I'm not going to lie to you guys.
That's true.
Off a forecheck, you want to know who the best passers were of the puck last year? Tanev and McCabe. Off a forecheck.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you can talk about stretch passes,
for sure.
but under duress, those two guys are the ones who got the puck out of the zone.
They knew
that's 100% a problem, Noodles. 100%. Brandon Carlo.
That's why I brought it up.
Hopefully when he gets back, will be better with a better foot. Like, he'll move and sort of be able to pass the puck around a bit better. But yeah, and it's totally legitimate. It's one thing to say you're not playing the system that maximizes the forwards on this roster, but maybe you don't have the horses, like the personnel to play that kind of system because you can't pass the puck. You can't. That's why Troy Stetcher looks so good because he skates. He moves. He comes around the net and he drops the forechecker and he sort of joins the rush just because he can skate.
Yeah.
So,
well, Noodles, can I give you a stat? And let me ask. Yeah, sorry, Mike.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask
Noodles. Go ahead, Jonas.
So they are 31st in the league in the amount of time spent in the offensive zone at even strength. What is that? Isn't that on the coach? Isn't that 31st?
Or the team's no good. Or the team is no good.
But that means they have no talent, and I don't think we think that.
We don't want to talk about.
I think this is where I struggle with, guys. I don't know how many times people say to me, this team is so talented. I disagree. I think they've got a few talented players and then a bunch of other guys that are just carbon copy of other teams. That's the way I look at it. The difference in the last couple years is you had 4 guys that could separate anything on any given night. Mm-hmm. That's the way I looked at it. Is the Leafs could play any different style, puck possession, not possession. It's 2-2 in the third period. One of those guys goes, I got you, or overtime, and there's more ice out there for more skill for those 4 guys. You lose one of them, and the other one's 35 years old. Now you're down to 2. Everyone says Nyes. I mean, Johnny, you've said Nyes is a really good player. I don't see him as a star. I see him as a really good player.
Sure.
And so what I look at it is there's a lot of interchangeable players on this roster with 2 superstars and everybody else. So to me, they've got to play differently.
There it is then. Like, if you're saying they have 2 stars and a whole bunch of similar players, well, so what does Ottawa have? 3 stars?
Yeah.
Like, you can get a system that doesn't have you 29th in possession in the league, right? Like, where you're not getting outshot 27 of 33 times. You can create system play to find a way to either level the playing field, because what they're doing now is not, it's both not maximizing their superstars or leveling the playing field to make everyone sort of mediocre, like get them in the pack. It's doing neither. It's hurting the best guys and also having them get caved in. And so, like, you know, figure out what you want to do. Try to make the other guys just tread water and the stars win it for you. That was last year. That might not be feasible this year because of weather, health, personnel, whatever, goaltending. Then you have to find something else. Then, like, I'm not a coach, so I can't necessarily tell you what I would do. But, like, you know, I do like the idea of having the puck more. And I watched them do this.
It's fair.
And I try to draw, like, they do the stretch, tip, dump as much as any team I can remember seeing, right? So they post guys up at the far blue line. They wire a puck up there. They chip it in. The guy who chips it is standing still, so he's never going to get it. Some guy from the other side who is also standing still to blue line, he tries to get in the forecheck. And this is where the speed factor comes into play. I don't think the guys don't want to work hard on the forecheck. I don't think they're not fully bought in trying to get the puck back. What I think is that they're not there fast enough that they can't do it. And so, like that's just an example. Like, I watched them play like that in the neutral zone. I'm like, this is why you never get the puck back. The dump and chase doesn't have the chase. It's the dump and turn it over. So these are the conversations we're having. I feel like they must be having to try to find other better ways to get more. Other than saying try harder. Because try harder for me falls sort of on deaf ears after a while.
Well, everybody tries hard. Like
Right.
You're not out there like there is some lazy players in the league, and you watch them all throughout the league, but they're opportunists. That's what they are. They try hard when they need to try hard. The puck gets close to them or whatever. But I do think something has to give with this group. Brian, I'll go back to you. This is what you said right at 4 o'clock, is what's going to give here? Because you're 33 games in. Where are you at? Where do you go from here?